The economy has long been an amazing feature of the game, driving so much gameplay. Gold has got value, people want to do things, so people work for gold. Farming raw gold, farming materials, turning materials into valuable items, maybe even boosting to earn gold, or, opening your wallet. But we are here to ask and answer some questions. What is the cost of living in World of Warcraft? What does gold actually mean for the average player? And does the economy of World of Warcraft work for the player or someone else? Oh, and we've worked out how much it costs in dollars to raid. Now today's sponsor, squarespace.com/Bellular Gaming, costs even fewer dollars with my 10% off your first purchase code, and follow that link and you will get a free trial. Now it's simple, Squarespace are the fastest and the easiest way to get a great looking site built quickly. I built this showcase site, as an example, in around 40 minutes on an iPad on the sofa, and it took barely any time to put e-commerce into it. Their award-winning templates are simply awesome. They are so easy to use, letting you hit the ground running, looking great from the get-go. And of course, with room to customize later. Now, your site is important. It's what people see of you online. If you want your portfolio to stand out, then a gorgeous, clean, and content-first site is what you need. Now, of course, there's far more. Want a site for your business? Maybe a personal site. Maybe you want e-commerce. Hell, they've even got a new memberships feature now if you want to do that. Their excellent site builder, easy-to-use tools, and incredible templates are all that you need to get started. So, start your free trial today at squarespace.com/Bellular Gaming with code Bellular Gaming, getting you 10% off your first purchase. Thanks to them for supporting the channel, and let's go and examine the WoW economy. Where does gold come from? Well, it's generated through quests, chests, vendoring items, and mob kills. It's traded to other players for goods and services, and it is removed from circulation through inactive accounts, failed guilds, vendor purchases, and repair bills. Just like in real life, inflation happens. I mean, it's a bit different. World of Warcraft doesn't have credit, doesn't have debt cycles. But one day, you maybe have realized that 100 grand used to be mind-blowing, but now it barely lasts you. In the past, gold generation was a glacial thing. The average player wouldn't have much left after they purchased, mount skill, mounts, abilities, and even swapping talents. The vast majority of players burnt through most of the gold that they earned this way, and those things were why they earned gold. Those days are long gone. Since Warlords, we've had some form of World of Warcraft universal basic income. The mission table. It was thousands of free gold for anyone logging in. More for every character you had, of course. For a time, it was all, raw gold farming and old raids and things like that. And some of those have been nerfed, but Shadowlands' gold-abundant callings are the modern version. We've also had less to burn gold on, except those huge cosmetic gold sinks. Using RMT prices to compare gold to US dollars, our brief investigation from a few years ago showed us that the 2 million gold costing Spider from Legion cost about $440 in RMT. About 10% more than the Tundra Mammoth did if you were RMTing at that point in Wrath of the Lich King. And only about 30% more than Epic Flying did at the start of TBC. It was really expensive at the start if you wanted to RMT the gold. At its cheapest in BFA, if you bought the Brutosaur with WoW token, it would have cost you $510, which is only about 16% more than the Spider. Let's look at it this way. 5 million gold during Battle for Azeroth was the equivalent of about 6.5k gold in vanilla. 1,000 gold used to be an aspiration. Today, it costs about 11 cents. But no monumental purchase has been as vital to your gameplay as your first epic mount or epic flying in the Burning Crusade. So, how do we make this matter to you today? Well, the cost of consumables. You probably know of the traditional comparisons for inflation and the cost of living. A loaf of bread, a Big Mac, rent. What's the equivalent for World of Warcraft players? It's consumables. Like with many of the accurate data sources out there, we are sadly limited to Battle for Azeroth onwards for the item prices. As a bonus, we can also look at WoW tokens price to get a real-world cost, and a big shout-out for Zordiak for running the WoW token price site. He actually provided us with the complete historical data for WoW token, which is awesome. For consumables, we decided on what we would consider to be a reasonable amount, instead of focusing on a high-end raider or a cheapskate. So our chosen raid night is 3 flasks, 20 healing pots, 20 DPS pots, and 20 bits of food. Progression nights can be way more expensive than that, of course, but we consider this to be a reasonable mix. We did not include runes. Not everyone uses runes, and runes can be so expensive that they obfuscate the rest of the costs. We also, by the way, did not include oils and stones for Shadowlands because they're almost negligible in cost, and this allows things to be a little bit more apples to apples. Here's what we found. You can see it's a little bit all over the place, but boy was it rough in Uldir, all the way up at the 17 to 19k range. Castle Nathria was also quite expensive, costing 12 to 13,000 gold a night. Right now, it's actually basically the cheapest it's been since Battle for Azeroth started, at around 8k gold for US realms and just shy of 10k for the EU realms. In monthly terms, that means Shadowlands has cost between 65 and 100k gold per month. That's of course before legendaries and enchants. You might be wondering though, what does all of this actually mean? Well, we started this video as an exploration into inflation of gold, but as we ran through, we actually found a different angle. Thanks to WoW token data, we can determine how much a raid night would have cost you in cash. Strap in for this one. For you US viewers, if you're raiding twice a week and buy your consumables with WoW token gold, you're adding $8.49 a month to the cost of your sub. If you did this when Castle Nathria launched, you would have been giving Blizzard an extra $14.13. Back in Uldir, if you tokened your way through Uldir, that would have cost an extra $18 a month. In percentage terms, using tokens to buy raid stuff is adding anywhere between 56% and 120% to the cost of your monthly sub. EU prices are actually a little bit lower across the board here, but it still is substantial enough. When Sanctum of Domination launched, a month of raiding cost you $6.42 in gold. So the next time you're burning through pots during raid, think about it this way. Every raid night costs close to $1 right now. In Nathria, it was $1.50. In Uldir, $3. This is when we started to think about Blizzard's role in all of this. They kind of stand to gain from the game being a bit more expensive to play. But we also thought about how earning gold actually works. So, let's think about that. If we're going to continue this whole cost of living analogy that we're kind of doing to explore the topic, we've got to talk about how much money you make in the game. What is your World of Warcraft wage? Has it kept up with inflation? Well, let's assume that you're a player who does nothing but log in once in the evening and do the content you're pointed to. So instanced, group-based content, and then your daily callings. An extremely rough estimate is an average of 4,000 gold a day, based on your daily calling giving you, $1.5 to $2.5, and the Shadowlands mission table and other material sources being sort of about the same again. Now this obviously changes drastically across players and gameplay styles, and it balloons when you do all of these things on alt, but only raid in one character. But I think we can use it as a base point for a raider. If you log in at least a few times a week and clear up those basics, you will be able to cover your own gold costs fairly well. Maybe you'll even make a little bit of profit. Is it going to be enough to, say, outweigh the cost of legendaries, though? Well, likely not. So potentially enter the WoW token. The same goes if you are a raid logger. If you're a raid logger, then you're spending all this gold for your raid mats, but you're really not earning a wage in World of Warcraft via other content. which actually, by the way, I do think is fine. Needing prep for a raid is fine. Like, seriously, that's not the point. But let's just say if you're a Mythic raider, or pushing Heroic really hard with your guild, or doing loads of Mythic Plus, and you'll need hundreds and hundreds of pots and augment runes, then they're going into your shopping list. Well, using the cost as my hunter, 2 pots, a rune, and food, each pool would cost 1,080 gold. So now it's starting to get prohibitively expensive, and players need to earn enough to afford optimal DPS. The same goes if you are, not having the sweaty gameplay, but maybe want that black market auction house gear or a rare Mog. So in addition to doing Torghast, filling your Great Vault with Mythic Plus, farming Korthia, and then raiding multiple nights a week, perhaps you're going to need to find the time to make all this gold. There are plenty of ways to do that. Raw gold farming and a few means. Gathering, flipping mats, boosting, and so on. Maybe this is why some of boosting is so big in the raiding community. The easiest and most efficient of these, though, is of course to swipe. Alright, let's be real. The art of gold making is an incredible part of a good MMO. I used to love it. I think it's great. There are so many ways to just have goods and services in the world, and I think it is a part of World of Warcraft that should be preserved and protected and nourished. Let's also be real about its current issues, though. If you're just a regular player, gathering will be an inefficient use of your time because of bots driving down costs. The cost of entry to the auction house playing game is fairly high because you will be competing with gold-capped masters of the market, and of course, good luck beating the cancel-scanning TSM gods. Or of course, again, bots. That's not to say you can't make plenty of gold, you absolutely can, but the dice are stacked against you. Also, Blizzard nerfed raw gold gains to stop people farming old raids, but they haven't stopped the legions of bots printing hundreds of thousands daily from pretty well-known spots. As it stands, the easiest way to stay afloat is, potentially either by design or by omission of dealing with bots and things, it can just be to swipe your credit card to either Blizzard or gold sellers. And honestly, that is a shame. The gold market is a great bit of natural player-driven content in WoW that should be super important. I think it just needs a bit more love and a lot more moderation. But the insanity of all of this raises a problem. A class problem. And for a change, I don't mean shamans. We've determined that people can afford to do raiding with WoW's UBI. Doing your callings will basically have you being okay. But what if you want a few legendaries on multiple characters? What if you are a mythic raider, burning through runes and pots all night long? What if you, as a casual player, want in some of the black market auction house goodies? Basically, it feels like there's a bit of a class problem in WoW. There's the mega rich who never want for anything, and then there are the poor, who are forced between choosing inefficient grinds or buying the WoW token to make sure that they can keep up with the cost of living. Imagine mythic raiding, using a pot on every pool multiple nights a week for hours on end. That shit adds up! The 1,080 gold in the earlier example, that's about 280 boss pools per token in the EU. Now, if you look at progstats.io, the highest typical pool count to clear mythic is 673. That means that just the pots, runes, and food to kill mythic with 0 reclears would be about 720,000 gold, or 2.4 WoW token. And remember here, consumables right now are the cheapest they've been since BFA. So is this whole situation reasonable, or an unnecessary barrier that promotes earning gold via providing boosting services, and as a result, WoW token sales? Because that's where a lot of the boosted gold comes from. Food for thought. And I'll leave this section a little bit more open. Is there a class problem in World of Warcraft? That's my question to you. Do you ever feel like you have to buy a WoW token or put in a bunch of work to earn enough gold to play? How many of you are the rich, actually able to engage at the black market auction house and buy the super expensive BOEs? And just how many of you are only rich in-game because of WoW token? Let us know. And now for the conclusion. So here's a thought to end us on. Does the economy work for players right now as a part of the video game experience? Or does the economy work for Blizzard as a way to earn more money for World of Warcraft via WoW token? We often talk about systems design in the game, but economy design is just as important, especially given the prevalence of WoW token and how we've laid out, cases where the game can make it feel necessary to people. So do you feel the Blizzard are conscious enough of the economic issues of Warcraft in general? In a game already full of chores, people needing to work hard for gold just to pay to perform optimally, but optimal is what's expected from them, I mean, you can see how that would feel funky. I also kind of think the black market auction house and the higher end of item prices are extreme because of rampant inflation via bots, and the average player just has no way to engage with that stuff. Anyway, just some thoughts. Thanks for watching this video. Do let me know what you think, and if we're going to be doing another little researchy deep dive, let us know what sort of thing you'd be interested in doing next. Alright, have a wonderful day. See you later.
Mm-hmm.